Real people, real breakthroughs. This is the Psychology of Eating podcast, where psychology and nutrition meet to uncover the true causes of our unwanted eating concerns. Your relationship with food will never be the same. Now, here's your host, eating psychology expert, and founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, Mark David.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Mark, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. We are in the Psychology of Eating cast. And I'm with Danielle today. Welcome, Danielle.
Hi, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad we're here. And we were just chit-chatting for a couple of minutes. You are in Scotland. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was just there right now doing this session.
It's very cold. You shouldn't be.
Okay, never mind. On my bucket list to go there. So, for viewers and listeners, let me just say, if you're new to this podcast, here's what's going to go. Danielle and I are meeting for the first time officially. We're going to spend a bit less than an hour together and see if we can move things forward on fast forward, if at all possible. So, Danielle, when it comes to your life, food, body, health, weight, all that kind of stuff, if you could wave your wand and get whatever you wanted to get out of our time together, what would that look like for you?
So I really want to say a relaxed relationship with food. Really, I just want my weight to stabilize. I've been gaining weight fairly inexplicably for the last 4 years. And so I keep doing the work to kind of accept myself and get used to that. And I keep gaining weight. And to be honest, that creates quite a lot of stress in my life. So that would be my magic wand, just to stabilize it at some point.
Mm-hmm. How much weight have you gained in those 4 years?
So I'll have to do this in your terms. About 55, 56 pounds, I think. I mean, I don't, no, that's rubbish. So about 28 pounds. I don't weigh myself anymore, but I've gained 2 dress sizes and it's been a kind of chunk every year, I would say. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Mm-hmm. You gotten any medical tests?
Yeah, so I researched the life out of all of this stuff. So I've had thyroid tests and I had parasite tests. For a while, I had some injections, which were like, I don't know if you even have them in the US. They were kind of an food allergy thing. I don't take gluten anymore. And the only thing I haven't tested that I've kind of wondered whether I should is hormone panel. But I haven't done that because I kind of got tired of the testing.
Sure. So they tested your thyroid. Did they test you for diabetes or pre-diabetes, anything like that?
No, although last time I had a big sort of kind of corporate health check would have been about 5 years ago, and they said I was very low risk for diabetes. So no, although interesting that you say that, because one of the challenges I have is I need to pee all the time, like constantly, and I'm thirsty all the time, but I've never been retested for it because they'd said I was such low risk.
Yeah, okay, so I would get tested for it's pretty simple. It's not a lot of time and effort. You just described potential symptoms of diabetes or pre-diabetes. So it can hit. Oftentimes, the onset can be quick for certain people. So that's just a little alert mechanism for me that I would want to see you have checked out. Actually, the thirsty part. Now, I will also say, so previous to this last 4 years, have you been the kind of person that's often thirsty?
I mean, I always drank quite a lot of fluid, but right now I would always have a bottle of water with me if I'm out. You know, I would struggle to go any length of time without some kind of fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got worse, definitely.
Yeah. So you definitely want to get checked for that. In these 4 or 5 years, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, anything super different about you?
Yeah, so a fairly major family trauma about 4 years ago. So involving a member of my family unexpectedly going to prison. So I can almost totally connect when I fell out of relationship with food again. to that point. And when I started to, because I have had eating disorder. So I had an eating disorder when I was about 18, 19. Although interestingly, I never got really, really skinny. But I survived on, like 300-400 calories a day. I used to make myself sick if I was eating. And I worked through that. And then when this trauma happened about 4 years ago, I was actually, I was probably the weight I would love to be, about 147 pounds. And then I just got really obsessed with food again, really obsessed, and started to cut food out at pace, to the point where my husband kind of said to me, I'm not happy with what you're eating. And I was in floods of tears saying, but I'm not losing weight, which I wasn't. And then I started to explore food intolerances, did a couple of elimination diets. And then to be honest with you, I just got really obsessed with finding out what was wrong, like you do.
Sure. And would you say the weight come on incrementally each year?
Yeah. So this is what happens. As long as I am really, really careful with food, then my weight pretty much stays steady. The minute I dip into any kind of, I wouldn't even call it binge eating, but kind of upping the ante on what I eat, then I gain weight and it doesn't come off. So this year I had back surgery 4 months ago, and naturally I gained weight because I couldn't walk. So I couldn't walk actually for a lot of this year. And once it's on, I have no apparent way of getting it off at all. So I can do, like a couple of months ago, I did 2 months of no processed food. My diet's very light and gentle, but it just doesn't come off. So once it's on, it doesn't come off. Sure. And I bloat really badly. So my stomach in the evening is very different to the way it looks in the morning.
Do you eat, how many times a day would you say you eat right now?
3 to 4. Yeah.
Do you notice your bloating being worse or better on certain days?
Yeah, that's a good question. So today I noticed it was really bad, but I haven't been able to connect it to anything, would be the truth. I've started to have really light evening meals now, kind of really gentle suppers at kind of about 6 o'clock. I probably don't eat after that. And I find if I can do that, it's probably a bit gentler than if I have, a dinner in the evening, in which case it's not good.
Have you had any foreign travel, like starting 4 or 5 years ago?
No. So 3 years ago, I started traveling to India for business. But no, not 4 years, I wouldn't have said. Oh, I was in Greece, but Europe, so nothing.
Okay, so 3 years ago, I started traveling to India.
Yeah.
Did that impact your health any?
Didn't seem to, no. And I didn't have any of this kind of stomach bugs that everybody gets.
And so, let's say, starting either 5 years ago, 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, did you get any particular kinds of vaccines?
Yeah, I had vaccines to go to India. Yeah, I had, I can't remember, tetanus, meningitis maybe, and yellow fever, I think, probably were the 3. Sure.
But prior to that, had there been any vaccinations?
No, not for a long time. Since I went to Kenya maybe about 14, 15 years ago. So no, nothing since then.
Okay, got it. Do you have kids?
Nope.
Plan on it?
No. Have stepchildren and they're great. That's the ideal way to do it.
Got it. You're pretty clear about that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you've tried a bunch of different kinds of sort of medical/nutritional approaches to figure out what's going on for you.
Yeah.
What are the ones that you've tried?
So I started with elimination. You would laugh because I ended up giving up like a list of like 25 foods. Although there was a point there, and actually I was in America, where in that period I felt really good for maybe a month, and people were really commenting I looked totally different, and that just disappeared. So I did that. Then I did these, I went to an allergy clinic in London, and I had to inject myself twice a day. That also worked really well for about 3 months, and then didn't work. Although my weight stabilized, I didn't lose any. I've done leaky gut protocol. I had to give that up because I couldn't handle the amount of supplements I was taking. But interestingly with that, I had one day on the leaky gut protocol where I woke up and my husband just looked at me and he said, "What has happened?" And I looked like I dropped about 14 pounds overnight. It was insane. And I was so excited, but I couldn't believe it. And then by the end of the day, I was totally bloated again. So it was kind of another scenario of, and this is making me really edgy around food, right? Because now I just think I eat, I blow up. That's kind of my connection that I make now. And then over and above that, I've tried fasting. I think that does reduce my bloating, as you would expect. And I also did, which I'd never recommend to anybody, I did the Cambridge diet, which is a shake. I don't know if you have that in the US.
Yeah.
I lost a ton of weight with that when I did just the shakes and the soups. And as soon as I started eating food again, even when they just brought me on to like 500 calories a day, I was gaining weight. So, and prior to that, I've been dieting all my life, Mark. My dad had me on the scales when I was 5. So that's been a fairly constant thing.
Yeah. Were you at any point when you were younger? Were you in any kind of sports teams?
Yeah. I played hockey fairly competitively, certainly 2 or 3 times a week. But other than that, I really struggled with sport. So I wasn't a very good runner. I was very breathy all the time. So it wasn't until I was about 2022 that I started cycling and running and really enjoying sport. I had terrible games teachers. They just shouted at.
Got it. And the bloating, when was the first time you ever remember being bloated?
So truthfully, I think I've only really noticed that in the last, I'm making this up, right? But
Sure.
2 years maybe. Yeah. So prior to that, everything was kind of, I couldn't lose weight, but I sure as heck wasn't changing dress sizes in a day, which is definitely what happens now.
Do you experience any kind of fatigue, mood swings that feel the norm for you?
So not mood swings. Well, actually, I should check in with my husband on that. He might say differently. I definitely have had periods of, I used to sleep really well. I mean, I go back to when I started that elimination diet. I used to sleep really well. And now there are many days where I wake up, and even though I have slept, it's like I haven't at all. I just feel tired on waking. So I try really hard to get good sleep. I do a lot of meditation, and I go to bed pretty early, but often I don't feel refreshed at all. That's quite challenging.
Are you on any kind of prescription medications?
I'm on the pill.
For how long?
Oh, since I was 16.
Interesting. Have you ever gone off it?
Yeah, so I forgot about that one because, of course, in my reading, I'm obsessed with research. I read, I can't remember, one of your famous female doctors in America, and she recommended coming off it. I came off it as part of this process, maybe 3 to 4 months. Nothing got worse, but nothing got better. So I kind of abandoned that and went back on it.
Got it. Okay. But then no other prescription medications?
No. So with my back, I have been, but I'm really light on painkillers. I took morphine for a very short period of time and tramadol. Okay. And amitriptyline. Sorry, and amitriptyline. Yeah.
Did they give you any kind of steroids for swelling?
No, not that I noticed. Yeah.
Okay. So you haven't been able to notice particular times when the bloating seems to be better, worse?
So it's worse after food, almost always.
Any food?
And I'd like to say no. So I think it's okay if I stick to kind of, I wouldn't expect to be bloated after a salad, as an example. I certainly feel, this will sound strange, I feel it's more related to volume of food than it is to the content of it, and that could be absolute rubbish. But if I have what anybody else would consider a regular sized meal, then I notice bloating afterwards. I mean, for example, today at lunchtime I had soup. I had a gluten-free wrap with some hummus and avocado, and then I had a little bit of cheese. And I was really bloated afterwards.
Are you a fast eater, moderate eater, slow?
I used to be super fast. Now I consider myself moderate to fast.
Got it.
I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not relaxed around food. I mean, it feels a bit like the enemy, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally get it. Interesting. Okay, so I may have more questions for you. I kind of want to start to put things together. I think for you is that this is you're in a potentially complex case. Honestly, 9 out of 10 people that I speak to, no matter what they think, to my mind, their story, their case, their situation is simpler than they think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Every once in a while, there's a complicated case. This is more complicated. I'll tell you why it's complicated to me. It's, for sure, it's been complicated to you. I get it. I hear you. Okay. So, reasons why it's complicated. Complication number one, the fact that you've turned 40. Oftentimes, what I've known, I'm a big believer that we go through certain phases of life when the body shifts. The body just shifts. We go through and we shift. Our emotions shift. Our worldview changes. Who we are as a person changes. For better or for worse, hopefully for better. As we get older, the body becomes more sensitive at times. The body becomes more specific. And the body breaks down more. Weak links are exposed as we get older. What I have particularly noticed, especially, it can happen at any age, but there's an interesting thing that happens 30-ish, 40-ish, 50-ish. 40 is an interesting transition zone where you're not a kid anymore. You're clearly an adult. You're in an adult body, clearly mortal.
Yeah,
like mortality sets in more. So definitionally, I often notice people notice more about their body around age 40. So that generally happens anyway in an average healthy person. Okay, so there's a factor involved that we have to notice. The next factor involved is that you mentioned to me, like, hey, traumatic event happened, person, in my sphere ends up in prison. Okay, traumatic. So a traumatic event can trigger metabolic change.
Yep.
In the body. 100% happens all the time. And once the traumatic event triggers that change, it's not easy to unwind. Because what happens is people try to unwind the change as opposed to unwind trauma itself. So in other words, oh my God, he gained all this weight. Let me unwind the weight gain. Oh, let me exercise it off. Let me diet it off. No, that doesn't work. That's not how the weight came on. It didn't come on because of lack of exercise. It didn't come on because I was eating whatever. It came on because trauma happened, and it changes our system. So there's another factor right there that we could probably just pitch our tent there and work with for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, Next, the fact within this, so you told me you started gaining the weight around 4 years ago, but years ago, travel to India, vaccination. I will tell you across the board that this is a fact. I'm dealing with people who have inexplicable weight gain or various inexplicable onset of health symptoms, disease symptoms. Oftentimes it's related to foreign travel and or vaccination. Mm-hmm. India is particularly famous for throwing people off.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a country, you are being exposed to organisms, pathogens, and the like that your body hasn't seen before. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. So it is not uncommon for people to travel to India and come back and experience constant bloating, digestive stress, energy. So you could have easily caught something that stays in the system. I know people who are still with response to foreign travel, catching something. So that is a potential. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that's difficult to work with. It really is difficult to work with. I wish it was easier. So there's that complicating factor. Yet another potential factor in here is your history of your relationship with food. Mm. You've had a ride. You've been on different kinds of diets. You've been through different kinds of eating challenges. You had different metabolisms over the years. What often happens, not always, for people who've had a ride in terms of their relationship with food, you hit a certain age and challenges start to come up that are actually related to just what the body's been going in the past. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden the body gets a little tired because it's been pulled in a lot of directions. And then we go into just a breakdown and there's inexplicable symptoms or inexplicable weight gain, which is a function of just the road that the body is on. You hit a certain point, you have too many straws on the camel's back, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, metabolism is like, I could do things and not gain weight, but I'm not getting back to where I was. Mm. So it's almost like the body's in a little bit of a crisis. It's almost like, you've been running a marathon and doing great, but then, ouch, you're at mile 22, body's going, this really hurts. Part of what's also probably happening is you've hit 40, 41 and you're going, whoa, this has been an interesting road.
Yeah.
So body gets a little tired and it's a little reactive because it's been pulled in a lot of directions. Mm. So we often hit these chaos points where we're dealing with symptom. And symptom in this case is also inexplicable weight gain. Mm. And oftentimes for people, it's a period of riding things out. It's literally riding it out. It's like, here comes the storm. Sometimes a storm is coming, like get your umbrella, get inside and hunker down, It's just it's going to be warm. On top of that, you mentioned some symptoms of potential diabetes or pre-diabetes. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is the picture you've painted to me is not a simple one. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you are confused makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm just really pleased to hear that. Bizarrely.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense that you're confused. It's not like your foot hurts and you do all this research and you finally look at the foot and you see you have a little thunk in your foot that we have to pull out. It's not simple for you. Mm. So there could be a number of factors that are participating in creating the different experience that you're having right now. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're trying things and nothing is working for you, it's worked temporarily, what that says to me is, A, at the very least, you have a little bit of a journey ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a journey ahead of you. So you're in the unknown right now.
Mm.
What I would love to be able to see you do, and I know this is easier said than done, is to find a place where you can relax more into this journey, because what's happening right now is, amongst other things, you are being confronted with a core fear. You have certain core fears.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the most common core fear, I am going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Even though one is in touch with that fear, the fear of death is a big one. Probably second to the fear of death amongst women, fear of weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
It is a huge fear. It is not to be discounted, the power of that. You didn't invent that fear. That fear was invented by old, and it was injected into your mind. So it is a very difficult to overcome fear. When that fear grips us, it will cause us to act hastily. It will cause us to be upset quicker.
Mm.
It will cause us to collapse faster. It will cause us to lose hope quicker. It will cause us to be more anxious. I mean, you name it.
Mm.
So what I'm saying here is there are certain factors right now that we can't be sure of. However, this factor is one factor that we can be sure of, i.e., we're sure that this fear is coming up for you. And
Yeah.
understandably so. Understandably so. It's like, do the math, like, damn, if this freaking happened every year, I'm screwed. Okay. So, from this place, I would love to see you evolve yourself, mature yourself, trust your life a little more, and understand that you're on a little bit of a journey here. And I would love to see change the nature of this journey for you. Right now, the nature of this journey is, holy shit, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what's living in here.
Yeah.
And again, understandably so. And I am asking you to see that holding that perspective is not to your advantage. It's to your advantage. It's a reaction. It's an automatic reaction to an understandable situation. From that, you have to gather yourself. And in a lot of ways, it's facing, like, yeah, it's possible. Worst case scenario, I gain 100 pounds. There's a worst case scenario. Okay. Let's go there for a second. I gain 100 pounds. Would that suck? Yes. Would I like it? No. Would I deal with it? Yes. Would I stand by myself? Yes. Yes. So I need to stand by you right now. Because this is a fear that is gripping you like you have no idea. And I think you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know this is hard for you. I know that, because this fear, like I said, for women, it's close behind the fear of death. Because
It's pretty connected to it, like, because what if you eat yourself to death, you know?
Exactly. So this is the place where, instead of you focusing exclusively on, how do I lose this weight? How do I stop from gaining weight? We're still going to focus on that. I'm not saying we're not going to focus on that. We will focus on that. You will focus on that. You will continue to focus on that. But and as important is focusing on this fear. Because the fear is in trauma.
Yeah.
And this fear of weight gain existed before 4 years.
Yeah.
So almost coming up at a time in your life when age 40 is when a woman is on a training program. You're not a princess anymore. You're not a young girl anymore. You're not a teeny bopper anymore. You're not a teenager anymore. But you're not a queen yet either. You don't fully own yourself. You're not fully in power. But these next 10 years, 40 to 40-ish to 50-ish, is queen in training, learning how to step into your womanhood, how to step into your royalty, own your life, how to own your body like never before. So you can be in this world and be an empowered woman. A woman cannot exist in this world as empowered if she easily knocked off her horse about her body. If one little thing knocks her off her horse about her body, then she will never feel safe. She will never feel enough. She will feel truly okay and lovable as she is, because you gain a pound, you gain this, you eat too much of this, and all hell breaks loose. Now, granted, you're actually gaining and you actually don't know how to stop it. So fear has a legitimacy to it.
Yep.
So your task is difficult. Your task is difficult. The task is not to lose weight. I'm saying your primary task is to be in relationship with your body. Yeah. So you learn to start to not let the fear drive you to the extent that it has. And let the woman in you drive this process more. Not the girl in you afraid that if I keep gaining weight, I am totally screwed.
Yeah.
How's all this landing for you so far, Danielle? Tell me what's happening for you.
I made a deal I wasn't going to cry, but I am, so we'll just go with that. Yeah, really good, actually. I mean, I kind of needed to hear I wasn't crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good, and the thing about trust is a really big thing for me, because I'm not in relationship with my body because I'm at war with it, right? And I'm hugely successful in my life. I mean, I have a big job. I've done really well, and this is the thing I feel I fail in. Mm-hmm. So then I drive up the logic, right? And my heart doesn't get any say in any of it. And so, yeah, I mean, you're telling me to let it go, right?
Yeah.
And focus on living.
Yes. And I'm not telling you to let go of the need to know how to stabilize your body. I'm not telling you to let go of, hey, I want to be at the weight I feel comfortable at. Hey, I don't want to gain weight. I'm not telling you to let go of. What I'm asking you to do is put it to the side, let it stay alongside you.
Yeah.
Let it walk alongside you, not in front of you. So you can't see what's in front of you. So it's a little kid. I want you to hold it by its hand. And I want you to be the adult in it. So as the girl in you starts going, oh my God, I got to figure this out. I got to do this. Up the logic. That's the part of you that's trying to figure it out. And right now, you might have to have a little period, and it might be a week, it might be 2 weeks, it might be a few months, where you actually let go of trying to figure this out, where you let go because you've been trying hard. And I am acknowledging to you your situation is complex. There's things that would have to be explored to figure it out.
Yeah.
Even then, I literally don't know if that would provide you with the answer anyway.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that this particular relationship with you has been here for a long time, where you've been in an adversarial relationship with it.
Yeah.
Where you haven't fully owned it and embraced it and loved on it. And
for sure. Yeah.
And what that means is you let go of all conditions and you go, okay, God, okay, universe, here's me right now. This is like, is out of my control? I don't know what's going on. I'm trying, but I give up. Does that mean you just eat cake for 2 weeks? No. You still care for yourself, but you care for you. You just do things caringly, opposed to let me do this so I can see if I can make myself lose weight or see if I can stabilize myself. No. Right now, I want you to try to care for yourself with food. I want you to try to nourish yourself with food. So even if you eat something, you get bloated, what I'm interested in you saying is, oh, okay, that's information for next time. Did I eat too fast? Did I eat too much? Should I eat something different? How can I care for myself differently or better next time? So it's using more that this is care as to fixing your broken body that doesn't do what you want to do because you don't trust that it's going to be what you want it to be. You have to be in a different relationship with your body, and this is not something you have failed at. It is something that the world hasn't taught you. The world hasn't taught it to you because the world is kind of failed at helping raise healthy youth around their body.
Yeah.
That's an issue, and it's an issue worldwide. We eat garbage food on this planet. We have a crazy relationship with food because of what media, movies, and internet, and images, and culture gives us in terms of crazy messaging. Mm-hmm. So not your failure. That is a failure on the part of the world that you and I are doing our best to correct. It's a big issue to try to correct because it's a big one. It's bigger than any of us. The reason why you haven't been able to handle that is because it's so hard. If it was easy, you'd done it. We all would have done it. It's hard. So I'm acknowledging that what you're trying to do is very difficult, and it's so worth doing.
Yeah.
Because it sets us free when you can own your body and not live here, and not live in judgment of your own body, and not live in mistrust of your own, and not be at war with your own body. Then you can marshal your forces and power to be the person you want to be, more and more and more. So part of that is turning this into not about weight loss, turning this into self-love and self-care. Self-love and self-care means, shit, I think I've gained another pound. Oh my God, I'm really bloated tonight. How can I love myself through this? As opposed to get down on myself, stay up 2 more hours reading 10 more articles.
Checking out the Google.
Right. So I want you to hold yourself in those moments. And that's when I'm saying by self-care and self-love, go, oh man, it's hard. Like literally, this is hard. Got bloated to feels yucko. And just feel what it feels like just, God, this sucks. It's you being with you in that place, because what happens is we try to get out of this really quick. We run away.
Oh, for sure.
And when we're away, we keep ending up back in the same place anyways. So this is life at, tell me how old you are, 41?
41.
41. So this is life at 41. In the Queen in Training program, life is giving you a workshop. This is admittedly, from here, this is a difficult challenge that you have. It's not an easy challenge. You are not crazy.
No, I create big though, Mark.
I get it.
Yeah. So I would never have taken the easy workshop. It's not who I am, you know.
Great. So this is an easy workshop, and it's the workshop. And you have all the tools to do this.
Yeah.
But it's a different tool than what usually helps you succeed. Probably what's to succeed in your personal and professional life is you go for things, you see the right path, you choose the right strategies. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's the game plan. Here's what's going to happen. It makes sense. Right now, you need to be very much in the mode. You need to be nurturing. You need to be caring. You need to be forgiving of your body. You need to be a little high life and understand that this is something that is bigger than you. You cannot overcome this by yourself. So this is us right now acknowledging that, okay, so can't overcome it by yourself. Meaning with your force of power and your brain and your mind is going to figure everything out. So there's a little bit of that needs to happen. And there's a little bit of feeling right now, just feeling it all. Just feeling it all and feeling the craziness of it. You might have to feel a little bit of chaos before you might start to feel some of the grounding. My sense is that you start to slow down a little bit more, you're going to feel in a different way. So slowing down with food, yes, it has a massive physiologic benefit. But in so many ways, it's an emotional practice because it's asking us to slow down in the very place where we don't really want to feel. Because if we down there, we would feel just the complexity and we'd feel the cleanness and the pain and the confusion and the whatever's there. Mm-hmm. So you slowing down with food, really what it is it's you making peace with your body. To be at peace with your body is to be relaxed with your body. Relaxation equals peace. Relaxation equals acceptance in the moment. When you're relaxed, you're actually accepting in that moment of whatever. So we need to get you have more moments of that with your body where you're just living in, have the experience and the feeling called, I can just relax with this. Even though it's not the perfect body, even though I'm bloated, even though I'm gaining weight, even though I can't why I'm gaining weight, I can still have a moment of peace. You're being asked to find some peace during wartime. You catch the analogy there? So there's a war going right now.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a war in your life. I'm asking you to find moments of peace within that war. Because I have a feeling that the war's been happening for you for a long time. It's been very internalized. And you've been able to succeed in the world. And now this peace is coming home for you. Now this peace is saying, okay, you focus elsewhere. You've learned how to be successful, learned how to build a good life for yourself. Put a lot of energy into these other places in your life. And yeah, you've put energy into this life as well, but not the kind of energy and attention that would truly move you forward.
Yeah.
Truly move you forward. So now what I think is happening for you is you're at that stage of life where life is saying, okay, here's what we're going to be doing. We're circling back to something important that you need to learn, that you need body now. Because life doesn't let us off the hook. If you've chosen to be a growing human, life is going to give you growth. Life will give you opportunity to grow. And it will often look like a challenge. It will often look like irritating, stupid sense that I have to deal with. Nobody wants to deal with what you're dealing with right now. It is not fun. And what I'm saying to you is, I'm asking you to address this challenge in a different way than ever. The heat turned up for you.
Yeah.
But you have the skills now because you've never been more of an adult and you've never been more woman than you are right now. So it's you learning how to stand by yourself, love yourself, not abandon yourself, not push yourself, not force yourself, not yourself, and not constantly be trying to fix yourself. And start to have moments where you let go and you go, I give up.
That's such a hard phrase, right?
Yes. I give up. Maybe it's I surrender.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because
my new mantra.
Because I surrender is maybe better words to put around that. Surrender is power.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Surrender
Choice,
is
right?
power. It's a choice. It's saying to the universe what is true. You can't figure this out. And you're pushing with your mind, and you're forcing and you're forcing and you're stressing and you're stressing, and you're emphasizing the very thing that has been causing you the challenge, which is being in the kind of battle with your body. You surrender, you're not fighting your body anymore. You're okay, body, like, I give up. I can't figure this out. This is very difficult. It's very difficult to figure out. It's an easy one. I've tried all sort of different things, and I just give up. And giving up is not a sign of weakness. Mm-hmm. It's a place where you find your power because you find your humanity there. You find your humility there. And you redirect because your strategies haven't. So we're trying something radically different now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what when one strategies don't work. You do something different.
Well, I keep pretending I'm doing something different whilst doing the same thing.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense. But you and everyone, this is not easy work, Danielle. It's not easy work. Because it sounds like you're being asked to give up. But what I'm really asking you to do is cease fire.
Yeah. And
start to find a little trust, because you have to be best friends with your body, and you're not. You're a very conditional friend.
Yeah, incredible.
Very conditional friend. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't anymore. It literally doesn't work. To be in the kind of relationship that you've been in with your body, you've been able to manage it, and good for you. Congratulations. You've actually been able to put your relationship with food and body that so many of us are born with into this because of the crazy world. You've been able to kind of put that over here to try and manage it, build up your life, stay relatively healthy and relatively okay up till now. Mm. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. Now we got to address this head on. So again, what I'm to you is you're being hit. I want to remind you, because it's going to be hard for you to remember. You're being hit with your biggest fear in life, just about. The fear of uncontrollable weight gain, and I have no idea how to. So what I'm saying is, in the face of biggest fear, right now, I want you to be doing more breathing, more slowing down, more surrendering, not more fighting, not more strategy, not more reading. I want you to actually do more. And if that means you're crying every day, 5 times a day, then so be it. Because what's happening is you're tired of the fight. It's really tiring you. That by itself will stop your body from going. The stress of the fight will lock in whatever metabolic tweak is happening for you. Right now, your metabolism is not cooperating. It is not in a natural state. It's got a kink in there somewhere.
Yeah.
What will hold that kink in, oftentimes foods that we're highly allergic to, really poor quality food, certain nutrient deficiencies, sure, it'll lock that in. But for sure what will lock that in is our anxiety and our stress that we bring to the situation. So there is a deeper level of self-love, self-acceptance, relaxation, surrender, that when that happens, it is the perfect medicine for that of you that's been fighting for, I don't know how been fighting.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Years.
So you're tired of the fight. Your body is tired of it. Your body's not cooperating in the fight anymore. Your body's going, okay, I'm doing what you want me to do. It's kind of saying. So what I'm saying is, let's go with that. Because the body's own weird brilliance to it. The body is its own teacher. It's a strange teacher in that way. It teaches us in ways that we don't like, but there's a wisdom to it. Sounds like letting go means I'm going to be worse and I'm going to more. I'm not saying be irresponsible. I'm saying, just eat whatever you want to eat. I didn't say that. I'm saying love yourself. I'm saying yourself. I'm saying take care of yourself. That means with food, but caring for yourself with food as opposed to stressing yourself with food. As best you can is a practice.
Yep.
You're not do this overnight, but it's a practice. And a little bit of trust that I'm going to try a different way now. And this way is a little bit more about surrender and waving the white flag and stopping the fight. There's a core fight that won't stop, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
Yes. Until you are to take her boxing gloves off, this shit ain't gonna go.
Yeah.
Once that part starts to relax, this whole thing will start to You'll have better ability to discern the next correct steps. Things will start to make sense more. Sometimes we have to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
In any war, you pull back from the front lines, gather the forces, and strategize.
Yeah.
Your plan. You need to pull back front lines. You need to pull back from the fight. You need to lick your wound. You need to do a little rest. You need to do a little recovery from all the fight. And notice what happens when you do that. And trust that if this is truly something that sounds right to you, to find the place where you can trust your own journey. I'm not asking you to trust me at all. I'm asking you to trust your journey.
Yeah.
Not asking you to trust advice. You asked to be, I put it out like, hey, who wants a podcast? You raised your hand. So this is a co-creation. So this is your journey. From your perspective, this is your, I'm an actor in your play.
Yeah.
I'm a character in your movie. You're the producer. I want you to your movie.
Yeah.
I want you to trust the movie has a wisdom that your journey, your story is a beautiful one, the wisdom to it, despite the fact that it could be irritating as all.
Yeah.
Which it is right now. A little irritating for you right now. It's a lot irritating. I really get it. I just put on my glasses so I could see the time. And I want to take the next 2 minutes to start to put a bow on this and wrap things up. How are you doing?
A lot better than I look. Really good. Really good. I mean, I tell you how I feel. I feel like my soul is saying, that's right. Because it's just too tiring living like this. And I think what's really odd is this is what I teach. I teach people to slow down. I teach people self-acceptance and self-love as part of my work. And so it's interesting that the biggest story is still about me. I mean, I teach to heal, right? I mean, that's part of the in-service, but I'm healing at the same time. So, and it's hard, when you say, let go, I'm committed to it, right? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the surrender thing. But, when you talk about God and the universe, and I'm a Christian, and, a few times where there are points in life where I know I need to say, this is in your hands now, I can't do it. Well, I don't want to do it. I resist it all the time. So this is a lesson that's been calling me for a long time. So
Great.
time to do it, right?
Beautiful. So you know what you have to do. What a great thing.
Yeah.
What a great.
I do.
Yeah. So I'm really happy for you because you are perfectly poised to make this next leap. And it's going to take time, but that's perfect because it's time. Things need time. Things need time to marry. Things need time to cook. Things need time to gestate. Things need time born. The new you needs time to be born. So this is a problem you're experiencing. This is a birthing process you're experiencing. And birthing, if you recall, coming to the womb and getting squeezed out, it's not easy. It's a weird event. And it's a little messy. So you're going to be in that stage for a little while. Now, I'm just saying it's okay. Get comfortable there.
Yeah.
It's going to be messy for a little bit, but that's a beautiful thing because after that, you're going to be a different person. So let's not put a time limit on it. And I know it's nearly impossible for you to say, okay, it's in your hands, but that's your task.
Yeah.
That's your task. I want you to figure out, and I mean that, you figure out what's going to keep inching you forward to help you do that. Whether it's you getting help, you getting coaching, turning to friends, turning to mentors, to a coach from our community, whatever it is, you getting the kind of support you need to move in that direction. You follow me? Yeah.
Yeah, completely. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I feel very honored. I feel honored to be part of your journey, and you are doing some difficult work there, young lady. This is not easy. So I just want to acknowledge that you're taking on something so big and so huge, and the benefits of taking on are so stupendous. So I for that. I really, really do. And this is why people don't work, because it's so hard.
Yeah.
And it's so worth doing. It is so worth doing. It's so worth doing. And I know you know that, and please get that.
Oh, I really know it. And I figured that, here's a good thing coming out of it. No one's going to ever come to me with a more complicated case than me.
Exactly.
So I know a lot because of it.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And I understand, right? So, yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. Wow, I've got a feeling I'm going to be crying for a few weeks, but I think that's okay. I think it's overdue.
I think it's a great thing. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tears don't have to have a reason. They don't have to have an explanation. Please don't forget. It's just crying because you're crying because you're crying because you're crying, and the tears just do what they do.
Yeah.
No reason needed.
And then I get to emerge a queen, right?
Yes, you do. You do.
Which will be an exciting day.
It will. I agree. Danielle,
Thank you.
great work. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being willing to do it with me.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I so appreciate being along for the ride with us. Once again, I'm Mark David on behalf of the Psychology of Eating podcast. Always more to come. Take care, my friends.
I hope this was helpful. Thanks for listening to the Psychology of Eating podcast. To learn more about the breakthrough body of work we teach here at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, please sign up for our free video series at ipe.tips. That's I for Institute, P for Psychology, E for Eating.tips, TIPS. You'll learn about the cutting-edge principles of dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition that have helped millions of people forever transform their relationship with food, body, and health.